All right, good morning. This is a recording of day one this week of our lecture, and this is for anybody who was not able to come to class. So I'm going to kind of share just the general message this week as we're talking about two things. One, we're working on our virtual service projects. And our virtual service project is something that we are doing as a class, and you should be in groups. And if you have any questions about that, you can talk to me. But I also want to share with you our weekly theme. And this week we're talking about humility. So let me share my screen with you and give you a couple announcements. And Henry, if you are listening, welcome from overseas. First of all, just a reminder about the community partner email that is due on Friday. You were to send an email to somebody you were interested in working with. We worked on this assignment back in December, but I wanted you to send it to somebody, and then in the assignment for this semester, copy what kind of response you got back. If you didn't get a response by today, then don't worry about it. Just put in the email assignment your email that you sent. And then at the end of that, also write down a couple ideas you might have for your own service project that you're going to work on yourself. So that was the first thing we talked about. Next is our theme this week is this picture right here. And this is Mother Teresa. And the idea of leadership is that humility gives influence as a leader. And Mother Teresa was a great example of a leader who was someone who cared about other people and had a huge impact in this world. And I asked everybody in class today to break into groups and talk for 4 minutes on all the different people that have they look to as leaders who have made a difference in this world, whether dead or alive, athlete, somebody that's famous, not famous at all. And so we brainstormed as a class that, and then we talked a little bit about Mother Teresa. And this idea of the Calcutta paradox. I don't know if you know anything about Mother Teresa, but she had this as her call in life. She was grown up in a wealthy family, but she was called by God to work with those the poor of the poor. She said, I was to give up all and to follow Jesus into the slums to serve him in the poorest of the poor. I knew it was his will and that I have to follow him. There was no doubt that it was to be his work. I was to leave the convent and work with the poor and live among them. It was an order. I knew where I belonged, but I did not know how to get there. And so in 1950, she started the Missionaries of Charity in Calcutta, 1950. And an incredible ministry throughout the world of caring for the poor. She opened over 25 homes in all different places in the world. She won the Nobel Peace Prize. But she was someone who, when you looked at her, she was about 4'8". She was older. She didn't have all the qualities maybe that some people think is a leader. But what made her so passionate is her call by God to serve people in need. And so this Calcutta paradox is, sometimes humility is a magnet in a leader. Other people want to be those people who are humble. When we underspeak in regard to our value, others, we are drawn towards us and our influence increases. When we overspeak, others are repelled. When it comes to self-description, leaders know people what fill what is lacking and empty what is too full. And often we talk this week about being a leader other people are attracted to because they don't want to hang out with somebody who's arrogant and rude and doesn't see value in every person. Mother Teresa wrote a book that I would recommend called The Simple Path. The fruit of silence and prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. The fruit of love is service. And the fruit of service is peace. And so in class, we just talked about this idea of, are you a humble leader? Do you want to serve others by being a humble leader? Is humility even an important quality of a leader? What does that look like in a leader? And so we thought a lot about people that we knew or know about that we care about. So what I want you to do now is a journal. What two leaders do you admire for their humility and why? What does it mean to be a person of humility? And why is humility so important for a leader? I want to know your opinions. And we'll talk a little bit about this on day 2, but tell me why it's so important for humility to be the quality. So I gave students 10 minutes or so to do your journal, so I'd want you to do that. And then the last thing we did is we got into groups and briefly talked about our plans for our virtual service project. If you're not in a group, let me know and I will help make that happen for you. But I want to encourage you to this class. This week was about focusing on humility and leadership. And it's also focused on your virtual service project and what you're doing. So please, for your assignment, finish up your email if you haven't done that yet. Do your journal. And then if you need to talk to somebody in your group about your virtual service project, you can do that. All right, that's what we worked on class today. And I will see you tomorrow.